In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the front transmission mount on your Toyota Highlander. Looking down into the engine bay, we're going to use a 17mm on this nut right here. That's for the front transmission mount. I'm using a long extension on a swivel socket, using a 1/2" impact. We're going to remove the bolt. Now we can make our way underneath and tackle the rest. Remove the 5 21mm lug nuts. Remove the wheel. Using a 19mm wrench or socket, remove the nut on top of the engine mount. Using a 19mm wrench, we're going to remove the top nut on the left side transmission mount. Put that to the side. We're going to remove the engine splash shield. There's 14 10mm bolts and 3 clips. Remove the clips. Go around and remove our 10mm bolts. We're going to remove the bolts off the front engine mount. To start, pull the cap out of the subframe using a small pick. And there's a bolt up in that hole. Remove the 3 14mm nuts. Using a pair of right angle pliers, I'm going to squeeze on the back of this plastic clip. And pull it through. And then pull straight off and let that vacuum line go to the side. Using a suitable jack and jacking point, we're going to lift up on the engine. I'm jacking up on a solid point of the transmission. When you're lifting this up, you want to make sure that you don't lift it up so far that you pull your car off the lifting points. So keep an eye on those. Separate the engine mount from the top mount. Install the transmission mount. Once you have it in, you want to make sure the little clip tab is facing the driver's side. In the top of the transmission mount, there is a square cut. It has to line up with the bracket that is coming off the transmission. Before we put any of the nuts on the bottom of the transmission mount, we are going to want to thread the bolt through the top transmission bracket going into the transmission mount. Drop the bolt through the top of the transmission bracket. With the bolt threaded into the top of the transmission mount, we're going to lower the engine back down. Put copper anti-seize on all 3 of these studs if you'd like to. Thread the nuts on by hand. In and then tighten them down. Torque them to 63 foot-pounds. Reinstall the plastic clip into its bracket. Push it in, you'll hear a click. And reattach the hose to the side of the transmission mount. Just pushes straight on, there's no clamp. Install the left-hand transmission mount top nut. Tighten it down. Torque the top nut to 70 foot-pounds. If you can't get a torque wrench in there, do the best you can. Tighten down the top mount nut. And we'll torque that to 70 foot-pounds. If you can't get a torque wrench in here, do the best you can. Install the plastic cap back into the subframe. If you have the second one, install it now. Install the engine splash shield. Screw in your bolts. The screw thread ones go up front, and the fine bolt thread ones go in middle. It's a good idea to put anti-seize on these so they're easy to come out every time. The cover for the inner fender liner is supposed to be under the front shield. It's also supposed to tuck into this bumper. Install the two clips, and there's one in the middle. Then go around and tighten up all your bolts. Tighten down the top mount nut. Torque the top nut to 70 foot-pounds. Install the wheel. Start your 5 lug nuts, finger tight. Tighten them down in a star pattern to make sure it seats properly. I'm going to torque this wheel to 80 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Put in your 5 lug nuts.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.